But it's not true. Can you imagine knowing it's the government and having to get up on the radio and point this out and have them run all their COINTELPRO operations against us? Can you imagine what this is like? But I've got to tell the truth here. Paul Watson, finish up with what's developing here and how it's being used. I mean, I have a BBC clip. And I have other TV clips from the U.S. where you can't put your hands in your lap, you can't cover your hands, you can't have a blanket, you can't get up to go to the bathroom, you can't have electronic devices, you've got to have the body scanners now. I mean, they're clearly selling this to set the precedent for total police state, supermax level prison in the airports and planes, now to be put on the streets of America, which the TSA admits they're doing. This is the total lockdown of the world, Watson.
That's right, and to pick up on your previous point about how it's contrived and it's blown out of proportion when it's a government provocateur incident when compared to a lone nut, which do occasionally happen. There was a big bust it was big, but it wasn't reported as such, in England last year, and they found a rocket launcher and plans to attack airliners at the home of this neo-Nazi. And it was because he was a white guy and it didn't fit into their, Muslims are going to get us all picture book scenario. It got in one local newspaper and the story barely even went national, never mind.
And, of course, it did turn out that was part of a drill 99% of the time. It's like finding a four-leaf clover to actually find a real terror attack. 99+% of the time, it's always a drill, and they always hire some idiot to be part of the drill and then set them up.
Right, and the propaganda that's emanated from this is clear how they've seized upon it. The Associated Press is now reporting today, quote, Crippen and law enforcement officials said modern airport screening machines could have detected the chemical. Airport puffer machines, the devices that blow air onto a passenger to collect and analyze residues, of course totally invasive, would probably have detected the powder, as would bomb-sniffing dogs or hands-on search using a swab. Or maybe they just shouldn't let somebody on.
Which is what Maurice Strong wants: shut down travel, track everything we're doing, put global taxes on air travel. And, of course, they never point out that this guy was led through security. This guy was kept off the watch list, just like Muhammad Atta was.
They don't ask why he was let on the plane when he's on a terror watch list and had no passport. It's all about how we now need to be oppressed because of it.
And we need to give the globalist companies that make billions per nation a year off the new stupid machines.
Right, which were in trouble because a lot of airports were starting to back away from them. And it continues, quote,
yeah, because people aren't traveling.
Yeah, I mean, business travelers who get waiting up to 4 hours now, and they're just saying, I'm just not going to travel. So it's going to cripple the economy even further as well. But it says it continues, quote, however, most passengers in airports only go through magnetometers which detect metal rather than explosives. Hidden in Abdul Muttalab's clothing, the explosive might also have been detected by the full-body imaging scanners now making their way into airports, and that's exactly what...
and again, let's remind people, so we got to have the body scanners. You can't refuse, because almost everybody's saying no to them now that they found out what they are. They can also cause cancer. It's high-powered. Thing shoots right through your clothes. But Watson, again, there's hardly any mention in our news that it's confirmed that he was walked through security without a passport. We need to give them the history of it, Paul, where Muhammad Atta and 4 other hijackers went to a Malaysian terror summit, and when they came back, Springman, the head of the Jeddah Visa Bureau for the State Department, said they're on a terror index, and the CIA called up and said, let them in. They're really CIA agents. The terror designation is their cover. And, I mean, we interviewed Springman. He's in the film Fabled Enemies that I produced that's available at INFOWARS.com. I interviewed him here on the radio. Just Google Alex Jones Springman, and you can find the articles about that. I mean, the point is it's always the same. Don't listeners understand that Muhammad Atta and other hijackers were trained at U.S. military bases in high-level spy training, confirmed? Don't people understand it's always the same, Paul? I'm sorry. Look, I got you on to go over the facts here because you're good at presenting them. Go back to how the AP and others are saying Well, I mean, I've got this BBC report where they say you can't have your hands in your lap. You can't have a blanket now. No one, that in a Supermax prison, you get to have a blanket, Paul.
Well, even if you become ill, which people do on planes because the food's terrible, like Command did yesterday, the Nigerian, he got ill, he went to the toilet, he was in there for a long time. Boom, it's the Joint Terrorism Task Force investigation, the FBI's in on it. Obama's notified that this man has been in the toilet for a while, and of course it all turns out to be absolutely nothing. It illustrates the absolute paranoia and all these orders that were now being made to obey as a result of it. But it's just like the liquid bombing plot in 2006, which of course was the entree for all these ridiculous measures on how much liquid you can take through security when you can then just go and buy as much.
It's all about harassing. It's all about seeing what the ignorant scum slaves will put up with.
Yeah, but in that case, the bombers didn't have passports. They didn't have flight tickets. MI5 had been tracking them for months beforehand. And it was only as a result of a miscommunication between the US and the UK that the whole story was blown wide open before they boarded the plane. That attack.
Now, let me stop you again.
Ahead.
Let me stop you again. Again, they don't have passports, anything, because they're always brought directly on by security. Let me tell the TSA, if you're not part of the terrorists, the average TSA person is making $15 an hour, has no idea what's going on. Okay, if you see security leading a Muslim through to get on the plane, go search them. They got a bomb. I'm sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, MI5 were tracking these guys for months, and they knew the exact date of when they planned to do it, and that they were about to let them on the plane. There was a miscommunication between the US. The story got blown wide open, and they didn't get on the plane. That one was supposed to go ahead. But even as a result of just the scare alone, of course, 3 or 4 years later, we've still got these ridiculous measures, which how much we'll obey, to what ridiculous farce level we'll obey, and that's only being ramped up now as a result of this latest one. As you said, you've got to sit down for the final
And what
hour.
they did is they this will be the MO when it finally all comes out, just like we said a year ago, and now here it is, London Telegraph, front page. Mumbai suspect is U.S. double agent. An American man charged with plotting the attacks in Mumbai was a double agent for both the United States and al-Qaeda terror group. That's how they always cover it when it comes out that they're U.S. agents. Oh, well, he was a double agent. No, it was a globalist agent. Now, I think it's safe to say that this is clearly staged now that you have the guy on board videotaping and the entire flight in front of everyone, and the stewardesses leaving him alone to videotape him. Paul, it's always the same MO. And we know that this is what happened. They recruited him out of college and said, we need you to watch Muslim extremists. We want you to talk about how you're going to stage terror attacks in class. We want you to talk about how you love al-Qaeda and the Taliban to flush out terrorists. Your dad's a very powerful person, one of the top bankers, works with us. Are you willing to do this for us? Yes, I want to fight al-Qaeda. Okay, and then here he is, an agent, 2 years later, been all over the world working for these people, and they said, we need to test getting a bomb on a plane to see if stewardesses notice that you made the liquid bomb inside the urinal. Now, we understand, and again, how many times has the BATF and others been caught sneaking fake bombs on? And see, when they get caught, they say, oh, it's just a drill. Watson, we know how they did this. He's led on the plane without the passport. He's got the handler on board to make him go through with it, with the video camera, saying, look, I'm here with the camera. It's just a drill. It's so obvious, Watson. We have them, don't we?
It's blatant. It's transparent. And now you got Joe Lieberman saying we need to attack Yemen. And surprise, surprise, they're now connecting it to Yemen and saying that now that's the home of al-Qaeda. After Afghanistan, now they're all in Yemen. I guess we need to smart bomb Yemen, don't we?
There's really no end to this, Watson. There literally is no end. Well, there's a lot of other points I'll go over later on this, but we need really strong headlines with just data boil downs. That 99% chance this is completely staged. It follows the past MO. And I mean, write the article if you agree with me. I mean, this is authoritative, isn't it?
Yeah. Every single plot that we've tracked has led back to these terrorists being handled by people in U.S. intelligence. I mean, there's no major plot that hasn't led back to that.
They're always led onto the airplanes. They never have to have passports. They're always trained at military bases with high-level spy clearances.
Oh, but if you're, a family or grandma or whatever, then you're going to get harassed. Maybe the best way to get through airport security is just to have a handler, some explosives, no passport, and then you'll breeze right through. Well, that's the start.
If you're coming out of a Muslim country with explosives, as long as Interpol walks you through,
then it's fine, yeah.
Watson, can you believe Interpol is going to be able to operate in the U.S. with total immunity?
Well, no, the harmonization of law enforcement is one of the key goals of world government, so it's no surprise. They've been doing it for decades through the echelon system with the spying cadres in every country.
Well, good job over at Prison Planet. Good job to Kurt Nimmo as well. Thank you, Paul. We'll be back with more news. Thank you, Paul.